Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start by expressing my sincere condolences to our colleague, Congressman Caston, and Tara and I will keep your wife and your family in our prayers. Turning to the hearing today, thank you to the Chair, Ranking Member, for holding this hearing, and thank you to both governors for being here and taking the time out of your very important jobs to discuss methane emissions with us. But I want to point out that when we say methane emissions, it's a bit of a misnomer, because what we're really talking about is leaks of natural gas. And for anyone watching, let's make that clear. There are no methane pipelines. Methane makes up 70 to 90% of natural gas. And that's important for a couple of reasons. One, we should all agree that we need to produce more natural gas. This administration has even said so. We need to increase our exports to the EU by 65%. The Department of Energy says we're on a war footing for more production. Gas prices have quadrupled, which have, in some states like mine, doubled electricity prices. It's also important because, number two, not one company wants to see a leak of natural gas, because the stuff is actually pretty valuable, especially as the price has quadrupled. And as we see these electricity prices increase drastically, I got to ask, why are we discussing regulations and requirements that would reduce natural gas production when electricity prices have recently doubled? Now, this hearing is about how much more potent methane is as a greenhouse gas. Okay, that's true, but it is also true that methane, or in other words, natural gas, is also the primary reason that we have lowered our overall carbon emissions in the U.S. back to 1990 levels. Even the UN IPCC has acknowledged this due to the fact that natural gas displaces huge amounts of coal. In the end, we're talking about leaks during natural gas processing and transport, which by all estimates only really account for a very tiny fraction of emissions. And I've stated at the top, companies already have an incentive to prevent these leaks. They don't need the heavy hand of government to force a new regulation on their product, which will do nothing but raise an already expensive price. Now, the word crisis also gets used a lot in this hearing, and yet you don't see that word in, say, the United Nations IPCC report. And the word is used so that you can convince people to double their electricity bills every month to pay for this regulation if they believe that they're indeed in danger and indeed in crisis. But the truth is, especially right now, no one is willing to shoulder additional and unnecessary costs on their energy bills. So we're seeing an administration talk outside of both sides of their mouth. The Department of Energy says we're on a war footing to increase energy production. The EPA says we're on a war footing to roll out rule after rule that is chilling investment in energy production. I think it's a foolish way to govern, and it's hurting Americans now for some vague promise of slightly better weather in the faraway future. And the cost-benefit analysis just does not add up. So I want to turn to Governor Gordon and just generally ask you, how will these regulations, requirements affect production in your state at a time when I think we all agree we need more production?